Hello, everyone. Welcome to the redo of the Bad Boys for Life movie review. A video went up yesterday of me reviewing Bad Boys for Life, but the audio was terrible. I was using a brand new lav mic that did not work, so I'm using an older lav mic, and hopefully the audio sounds a lot better. So in the next couple of seconds, we're going to start the review. So Martin Lawrence and Will Smith are back in Bad Boys for Life. This movie, I remember seeing the trailer and I was actually pretty excited, but at the same time, I was looking at the trailer thinking, I don't know, this seems like it's going to be a little bit different than the first two movies. And not to mention, it's been 17 years since the last movie. I remember back in 2013, Martin Lawrence talking about there being another sequel. And here we are in 2020. So, time flies. So, before I get into my thoughts about the movie, I want to talk first about the first two movies. So, Bad Boys 1 is a movie that, no matter if it's in the beginning or in the middle, if it's playing on TV, I'm going to stop what I'm doing and I'm going to watch it. I love it. It has great action. It has some of Michael Bay's best action. I think the movie still holds up to this day, even though there's certain things that are dated, especially with the location. If you've lived in Miami before, that's just a given. Things change, but the movie still holds up very well. The chemistry between Martin Lawrence and Will Smith is magnificent. They work amazingly together, and Tia Leone is also really funny in this movie. It has a lot of great things, and it has a great villain played by Taherki Cario. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He was also in another action movie called Kiss of the Dragon. Then in 2003, we had Bad Boys 2, which at the time I remember seeing the trailer and I was super stoked about the movie. And then I saw it and I thought it was one of the most amazing action movies of all time. I've since then revisited the movie, and of course, when you're I was 15 when the Bad Boys 2 came out. My thoughts at the time were like, oh my god, it's amazing. And, watching it now, I think it's a pretty good action movie, but it's probably too long for its own sake. It's one of those movies that overstays its welcome. At 2 hours and 20 something minutes, it's a little too much. I still like it though. So now let's get into Bad Boys for Life. What did I think of this movie? It's been a couple of days since I watched it. I think it's just very average. It's one of those movies that left me feeling not much. I've said this before in other videos. Well, actually, the video that I recorded, and if you did get a chance to see it, I want to say it again. I like good movies, and I also like bad movies. And the type of bad movies I like are bad movies that are so good. They're so bad that they're good. So Bad Boys for Life isn't one of those. It's neither a bad nor a good movie. It's just in between. It doesn't have anything that's amazing. So I'll be mentioning the positives and the negatives. The positives. The chemistry between Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, amazing. It's like they haven't, missed a beat. They're still funny. They still work well together. The cinematography is really good. The two directors of this movie did a pretty good job mimicking the look of a Michael Bay movie. I can also say that the acting, for the most part, is pretty good. I can't complain about the acting. And I like the fact also that they brought back characters from the other movies. I won't say which ones, because they were actually surprising to see. I like what they did with those characters. I also like the fact that a lot of it's practical. There's a lot of action sequences that are practical. One in particular is the sequence where Martin Lawrence and Will Smith are in this motorcycle, and Martin Lawrence is in the passenger seat, and he has a little minigun. You've seen the sequence in the trailer. It looks really cool in the movie, and it's very well done. But that's where the positives ends for me. The negatives are, even though there's practical, there's a lot of bad green screen. I've seen TV shows with better green screen. I also noticed that certain shots had kind of poor editing, it was kind of rushed. But maybe that's just me. nitpicking, but the biggest three things that I didn't like about this movie are: one, I did not like the introduction of the new millennial group, which is called Ammo. You've seen them in the trailer. They're the ones who are singing the Bad Boy song, and Will Smith says, "No, no, never." They're cringe. One of them is played by Vanessa Hudgens, who I think she's talented. It's a shame that she's kind of fallen from grace. She's like appearing in lesser, smaller movies. Like she was also in a Netflix movie called Polar. But anyway, I think the problem that I noticed was that they're kind of trying to passing the mantle kind of to the younger crowd, like, you know, making them hip, and kind of sidelining a little bit the older characters of Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. And I don't know, I didn't care for them. And there's even one of those characters, one of the Ammo characters, who has an interest with Will Smith, with Mike Lowrey. And I never bought the love interest. It was kind of like shoehorned in. There's also a character that I don't want to ruin. I'm not going to ruin it. Something happens to a particular character I didn't like. And there's also a twist. This twist was like, it's not so much a twist, but it's more like a revelation. They revealed something that I thought was not needed. Why they revealed it and why they had to do it that way was kind of like, okay, it's like it's trying a little too hard to be serious. Actually, you know what? You know, if you have seen the movie, if you haven't seen the movie, pause here, because the only way I can describe it is if I mention it. So pause the video here and go back and watch the movie, because I want to spoil this specific part of the movie. So you get a revelation. So here it goes. 3, 2, 1. So we get a revelation, and the revelation is that Will Smith has a kid, and this kid is the one who's getting orders from Kate del Castillo, who I think she's a great actress. I think she's really good in telenovelas, and she also has this miniseries in Spanish in Telemundo. But in this movie, she's underutilized. She's just a run-of-the-mill action villain. You know, there's nothing special to her. And I thought they could have done so much with the character. Like, I remember things from the character Tapia in Bad Boys 2, and I remember the villain from Part 1, but her scenes are kind of like blah. And we're supposed to believe that she's manipulating her son to kill Mike Lowrey, and I thought it was just so, like, I don't know, it came out of nowhere. But even with all those problems, the movie's not that offensive. Like, it's just very blah. It's very average. Then again, the first two movies aren't exactly masterpieces, but those two movies have certain things that make them memorable. This one, for me, it didn't. It's not the worst movie of the year. It's not going to make it to one of the worst movies of 2020. But it's definitely the weakest one in the series. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. Sorry that I had to re-upload this video, but it's pretty much the same thoughts I have on this video as I had in the other one. The only problem was the audio, and I couldn't get it to fix it, so I was just like, you know what, I'm going to record it again. So, guys, stay tuned, because there's going to be a video tomorrow where I'm going to be announcing the winner of the Movie Madness movie pack, the digital code, and it's going to be in the worst movies of 2019. It's going to be followed by another video where I'm going to be talking about the best and worst movies of the decade. I won't be doing the best movies of 2019, sadly, because there's so many good movies that I've been hearing about that I didn't get a chance to see. So making that list, it's kind of like pointless, because it's going to be like, oh, I actually started writing the list, and it's only like 5 movies. There's so many others that people have been recommending, like movies like Parasite. There was The Lighthouse. So many other movies that I didn't get a chance to see last year. So I'll be catching up on those this year. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell button to get more news on content that I'll be releasing. Anyway, guys, until next time. Bye.